I will now show some success story about this platform. The first one is the IP lifecycle support. It addresses designer need to follow IP evolution, IP management, IP sharing, IP reuse, and so on. So the IP lifecycle management, it means that when you design an IP, at a given point you want to freeze your file and to propose it in the IP listing for your colleague. This has to be like we say, a seamless manner. That means that you have to stay in the same environment. So first of all, IP under development, we all know that designers work in their private environment under their revision control system, which can be different from a group to another. And at a given point, it should become an internal released IP. So commonly, I would say, in an enterprise, you have IP under development because you have to tell to other people what you are developing. And you have released IP, which can be internal or external. So if you want to support IP under development, the first question is under which revision control system your people are working. And then you can have an endless discussion for the present, the past, and the future. Because the revision controls are software tools that can change over time. All the design team not like the same tool. So the first feature of this platform is to support any development tool and any revision control system tool used by the designer. So as you see here, you have a server where you can announce IP under development, and the designer wants to work in his own design environment using ClearCase or Git and so on. And at a given time, he wants, first of all, to announce that he works in an IP under development, and then to announce where you can find this file for exchange or reuse. So starting from that, the first thing that DNR is doing is from the platform, the designer can work on his front-end revision control system. You have an IP, you develop it under ClearCase, you say this IP is developed under ClearCase, and you click and you are in your front-end. In your front-end, you have to find all the features of ClearCase and you can work on your design. After a while, when your design is ready, you see on top right, you can decide and put a label on the file that you want to announce to your colleague, to freeze, and to make available through the catalog. But this is a seamless activity. You have not to go from one environment to another. You enter your work, you work on a private IP, we say, and when ready, you filter with view and it becomes frozen de facto in ClearCase. The same, for instance, for Git. You have plenty of tools around you. Some of them are free, some of them are expensive, but whatever. You have to have the front end available for any revision control system. Even within a catalog, some IP can be developed under this tool and the other one and another one. So you have access to the front end, and you are ready to freeze or to commit your IP to a released one. So as I say, this is a seamless connection. You have to freeze by probably as labeling or commit. And also remember that when you are working in a reuse view, you may filter the file that you want to offer for reuse or for sharing. So I mean that not all the file will be stored and archived, and everybody, the authorized designer can access them. You can filter the file for future release. And the IP in the catalog, once it's frozen, can point directly to the top of the directory. We say location path, or it can even point from the catalog to specific files, like I want to see the simulation, I want to see the reports, I want to have the models, and so on. So why it is so important to go through a catalog and to freeze a selected file? Only released IPs that are frozen can be included in a project, in a product, in an ASIC, and of course are delivered for a client. So there are several techniques to freeze an IP and to label it. We call it in a delivery panel when it's for client. So this is shelf delivery, we call it, or it can go to a project. Now let me say just some word about project in the design environment. How do you represent hierarchy? You say an IP has another one inside. So you have two ways to do that. One is more catalog-based approach and product-inspired. For instance, some people have IP catalog, subsystem catalogs, products catalog, etc. Anyway, in each format of an item, you can put an attribute called embedded in, I am embedded in, or I embed this one, or I am an add-on for this one, or I am a related product. DNR gives several attributes to make your life easy and can rename them. In this way, any IP can immediately point to another one as a father or a son. It is extremely practical to express a dependency, or of course to trace IP in product. You can also use what people call project-based description. You create a project and you put explicit IP in a project. I create a project, version 1, and this version 1 includes the version 2 of this IP, the version 3 of this other IP. This is more building, described, a little bit more familiar maybe to designer. Why do we do all of that? Very simple. You have some basic feature that all the customer wants. You have to emit alerts when a bug or a new version is available for an IP. You have to warn people that there is a new bug in this IP, or take care, there is a new version available. And you have to send these alerts to all users of the product containing this IP. We call it, so you have a bug alert and you have a new version alert, but the alert mechanism is capable to trace. I have to warn the owner of this IP, I have immediately to alert the owner of this product and so on. Or you archive it, of course. So we call it intelligent project architect. When you work on a creation manner, you can create project, add IP to project, also synchronize by refreshing IP version. You're working on a project and you have worked with a version of an IP. There was another version available. As a recording, you can switch. You can say, okay, I replace this IP version by another IP version, and it is recorded for your project. At any time, you have what we call where use report. Where is this IP used? And, of course, emit the alert we spoke about earlier. If you work on a project, you have project members and access rights. So it's very easy to alert all the members of a project when something happens to any IP which has been included in the project. So all the members are only the manager. So you see by by following IP from the beginning in the design development environment, unless they are released, unless they appear in a product on a project, this must be done in the same technology, with the same mechanism. Then people are very happy to follow the history of their IP. So the next talk will be about another success story with this platform.